With the melancholy sound of the horn caller, man opens his way through Tuyuyuy territory. Milton is the foreman of this group of cowboys, and the hoarse melody of his ox horn marks the pace for all, beasts and humans. $15,000 head of cattle are the treasure to be custodied, and 12 farmhands his company and his help in this task. These men are the Pantaneiros, the Brazilian cowboys best prepared to survive in this untamed land and scorching sun. No one can separate the cattle on horseback like they can. They don't have stuntmen like John Wayne. Today is apartación day, a task that is done with lassos and consists in separating the mamando, the calves, from the carucando, the adult steer. They spend their lives on horseback and have made their profession a way of life. Vocation and devotion under an open sky. Everyone works for this hacienda called Biodome Busco, a cattle farm that is 1 century old and has 78,000 hectares of land. A place in the world where man and nature give each other a sincere and affectionate handshake every day. One has to start the day with energy. They will return it to the cows, but for the moment, their breakfast comes from them. A good steak makes them strong. They're going to need it because today's work is not easy. They have to herd 700 horses that were grazing freely out in the fields. They have to be brought back to the hacienda. The Pantaneiros call this herd of runaway horses tropa, or troops, and they have to be brought under control without harm, neither for them nor for the horses. A delicate and dangerous operation. This mare knows this and tries to calm her young filly down. Its motherly instinct is limited by a wire fence. If the filly gets frightened, it could break its fragile legs, and so it must be rescued immediately. It had no second thoughts and has found the path to calm. For its dear filly and for itself. There are also adopted parents in this land of frightened and untamed horses. In this case, it is a human being who avoids a sure fracture with delicate care. It's not easy to untangle a frightened filly. The possibilities of receiving a kick are very high. Crossing the boundaries between freedom and captivity, this is not a voluntary behavior for this wild herd of horses. That's why, almost newborn, they must learn who is the boss here. The sooner they learn the lesson, the better. And today is a good day to teach them, now that they are still as obedient as puppies. The ferocity of these horses fills their owners with pride, even if it does complicate things for them. The troop that grazes in the enormous territory of this hacienda is periodically gathered to control their health, to select the best specimens that will be used for crossing, to make them fully understand the great pantaneira truth. Man is king here, and all animals must pay him tribute. The Pantaneiro riders are horsemen, centaurs that ride their steers barefoot. We know that their horses originally came from the Iberian Peninsula, but we don't know when. Also, before these were introduced, the Spanish and Portuguese breed, there already existed a primitive horse, the Equus pantanensis, as many fossil remains testify to. These horses are animals that are so close to these men that even their names exude familiarity. These three, for example, tocadisco, record player, radio, or radio, and bolapié, instep. But these are not the only athletes on these plains. On four legs, other mammals trot through the Pantanal. A creature that has still not been tamed by man, the rare and shy Pantanal deer. It wasn't easy capturing these images of total freedom. But that doesn't matter if they are right there in front of your eyes. This is one of the rarest deer species in the world, adapted to life in the marshes as few have been able to do, and in danger of extinction like many others. Man has not been able to saddle it as he has with horses, but he has cruelly hunted it down. Its legs are as black as mud. This way, the piranha won't bite them when they graze in this sea full of white masiega, their favorite food. Only the male of the species have horns, and both sexes have an impressive pair of radars that enable them to hear the steps of a jaguar 1 kilometer away. A few specimens can weigh up to 150 kilograms. They have just one animal per birth, after a long 12 months of gestation. Biology and beauty for an animal that is desired by many palates. But no palate has such large and sharp teeth as those of the jacaré. They even show out through their upper jaws. This marsh crocodile can reach up to 2.5 meters long, nothing if compared to the 7 meters of their Asian or Australian family members. A recent study has calculated the Brazilian marsh population. 30 million specimens, not a bad number. There are 40 jacarés for every human being that inhabits the Pantanal. That means that there are 150 specimens per square kilometer. In spite of this, very few attack people or deer in these marshes. They like fish. That immense biomass that we never see, but maintains everything in its place in this Jurassic constellation. The murderous air about it is just that, an air. The Pantanal jacaré is a good neighbor, and the only thing it does is fill with its existence the empty spots left by other living beings in this ecosystem full of opportunities. Can you imagine what the period of the dinosaurs must have been like? The Pantanal is one of the virgin areas on the planet, where animals such as the jacaré amass the biological memory of remote times. Looking at these images, some self-criticism is called for. How small we are, and what a pain in the neck we can be.